Pledge of Allegiance to be led by our fellow Commissioner Janelle Hardy, who is the First Lady of Henninger Park. One nation. Okay, will the secretary please call roll?
Commissioner Carpenter. Commissioner Christie. Here. Commissioner Cornelius. He's here. Okay. I believe he's online. He's via Zoom. Commissioner Hardy. Present. Commissioner McLaughlin.
Here.
Commissioner Shipp. Vice Chair Marashi
Here.
and Chair Rush.
Present.
Commissioner Jauregui.
Hello?
Chair quorum has been reached at 4:33.
Okay. Before we begin, I'd like to remind my fellow commissioners to turn off your microphones or turn your microphones on when speaking and off when not speaking. And when speaking, please place the microphone about 4 inches away from you. Thank you. Members of the public may attend the Historic Resource Commission meetings in person or virtually via Zoom. I now invite the Commission Secretary to describe the way the public can access and participate in this meeting.
This meeting is being live streamed via our portal, www.santaana.primegov.com/public/portal, and to YouTube at www.youtube.com/City of Santa Ana videos. If you would like to provide a public comment, you may do so in the following ways. Join the meeting via Zoom, enter meeting ID number 823-577-89981. When the item that you would like to comment on is being discussed, select the hand icon to let us know you would like to speak. You will be called upon the name you entered. You can also join the meeting by calling 669-900-6833. Enter meeting number 823-577-89981. When the item that you would like to comment on is being discussed, press 9 to let us know you would like to speak. You will be called upon the last 3 digits of your phone number. After you are called upon, you may press 6 to unmute yourself. For those who are attending this meeting in person and would like to provide public comment, please fill out a request to speak form and turn it into the secretary. All speakers will have 3 minutes to speak. I will alert you when your time is up.
Moving on to public comments on non-agenda items. Secretary, does anyone wish to speak?
If you're attending this meeting in person and would like to comment on non-agenda items, please fill out a request to speak form and turn it into the secretary. If you are participating via Zoom and would like to comment on non-agenda items, please select the hand icon and unmute yourself. If you are calling in and would like to comment on non-agenda items, please dial 9 and then 6 to unmute yourself. I will wait a few seconds. Chair, we do not have any speakers.
Okay. All right, moving on to the consent calendar. We will have, is there someone who's trying to speak?
Yeah, this is Commissioner Carpenter, just trying to get into the meeting here. If I keep getting cut off.
Sorry.
He's already added onto the Zoom.
Is he in the meeting? Commissioner Carpenter, can you hear us?
I can now. Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, all right.
Chair, we can make a note that Commissioner Carpenter join us at 4:37.
All right, so Madam Secretary, you'll note that in our records about Commissioner Carpenter joining us at 4:37 PM. Okay, consent calendar. Moving on to the consent calendar, we're going to have one motion for all consent items unless an item is pulled for separate discussion by a commissioner. Is there a motion to approve item A, the minutes from January 19th, 22? Item B, excused absences, if any, and item C, certified local government 2021 through 2022 annual report. Yes, Vice Chair.
I would like to pull the annual report and discuss that.
Okay, all right. Oh. Yes. Commissioner Christie.
Okay, also, did, Commissioner Ship, is he on or did he let us know?
Yes, he did mention he was going to attend and he is on Zoom.
I'm sorry.
I'm on the Zoom.
Oh, good. Okay,
I can hear everything. I'm here. I have a cold.
okay.
So Commissioner Ship is participating via Zoom. I see. Okay. All right. Commissioner Christie, did you have anything else?
No. For excused absences, so we don't have any, since we have a full. Which
Okay,
one?
so
Which
if
one?
I'm correct, we're only voting, our consent calendar is limited now to one item, which is approval of the minutes. Is that correct?
What about Commissioner Cornelius? Is he on? Can you let us know who, I'm sorry.
If the commissioners are on Zoom, can they please put their name on the screen because we can't see if you're on the Zoom.
Can you not see my name? It's showing on my Zoom, so it's
There-
not showing.
There you are.
Okay,
Well,
now it appeared on there. So we
If
have
you were there-
Commissioner Ship, Commissioner Cornelius,
Yes,
Commissioner Carpenter.
Correct.
so Commissioner Ship, you appeared and then went away. Commissioner Carpenter, we don't see you at all. Are
No, I'm
you,
right here. I'm listening to everything.
huh? Oh, no. Well, wait a minute.
Right
Commissioner,
here, I can hear everything.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Ship, we just saw your picture, but Commissioner Carpenter, we don't see you.
This is Commissioner Carpenter. I'm on the phone only. I am not on the Zoom. So you will not see my picture. You'll hear my voice. Thank
Okay.
you.
So we have 3 people participating via Zoom, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, this continues to evolve. Are there anybody else that's going to be on Zoom? I think that's it. That's as many commissioners as we could possibly have. Okay, thank you. So we're back to voting on one item, which is item A, approval of the January minutes from January the 19th. Is that correct? Do we have a motion to approve? Commissioner Hardy?
Chair Rush, I'd like to second Commissioner, the Commissioner's motion to pull item C for discussion.
Okay, I don't know that, we don't have to have a second to pull something, do we?
No, it's been pulled. So
been
right
pulled.
now, the
So we're,
request,
so we're only voting on one item, which is approval of the minutes. So do,
I move that we approve the minutes from January 19th, 2023.
do we have a second? Okay, by Commissioner Haragi. All right. Any opposed? All approve? Okay. All right. So I guess we would go back to approval of the certified local government report. And I know that based on the correspondence we received from Commissioner Hardy, that there was a slight addition she was proposing, which I'm perfectly fine with. Do you want to comment on that, Commissioner Hardy?
Yes,
Commissioner McLaughlin?
We did not do a roll call vote.
There was no objections.
For the agenda. I mean, the
For the,
minutes.
for the item that was on, that was.
Which was
voted on,
in the
we did
minutes.
not do a roll call. We just did a yay or nay. We're supposed to be doing at this point in time, I thought a roll call.
Okay, I'll back up. We'll go back to the consent item, the one item of approval of the minutes. Madam Clerk, if you would do a roll call.
Commissioner Hauregi. Commissioner Carpenter,
Approved.
Commissioner Christie,
Yes,
Commissioner Cornelius. Commissioner Cornelius,
Aye, approve.
Commissioner Hardy,
Yes.
Commissioner McLaughlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Ship,
Yes.
Vice Chair Marashi,
Yes,
Chair Rush,
Yes.
motion approved by unanimous consent.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move to the item C, which was certified local government annual report for 21-22. Do we have a motion by someone about amending that report? Commissioner Hardy?
Sure, I can make a motion to amend the certified local government, annual report for 21-22.
You want to
Do
use
we
the,
need to discuss the amendment or?
yes,
Yes.
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 do we
Chair
have
Rush and
do we have a
members of
second
the,
for discussion?
well, with the amendment. is.
So the amendment is on page 5, I'd like to maybe see my professional discipline change from civil engineer, which I'm not, to a compliance and electronic engineer. And then number 2, on page 7, I noticed that it says it's a requirement that the staff and the commissioners attend at least one training program per each year. And there wasn't one for there's not one listed for the commissioners. And I would like to add one of the 2 that are listed on page 10. If we move one of those, add that one up on page 7, either one, then we would be covered as far as commissioner training. That's it.
Chair and Commissioners, if I just might add, this matter is before you tonight as a receive and file item and not an action item is being presented to you as is. Provided that if you wish to make perhaps a non-substantive correction, perhaps of the type you described first, that may be permissible, but any substantive correction at this point in time is not before you as an action item.
Okay, then I pull my objection back. And I make a motion that we approve the filing of the report as listed.
So we have a motion by Vice Chair Marashi, a second by Commissioner McLaughlin. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Madam Secretary, can you do a roll call vote?
Commissioner Hauregi, Commissioner Christie,
Yes,
Commissioner Carpenter,
Approved.
Commissioner Cornelius,
Aye.
Commissioner Hardy,
Yes.
Commissioner McLaughlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Ship,
Yes.
Vice Chair Marashi,
Yes,
Chair Rush,
Aye.
motion approved by unanimous consent.
Okay, all right. Let's move on. Let's move on then. That concludes our consent calendar. Moving on to the business calendar session. I'll now review the process for the public hearing so that everyone knows what to expect. Staff will provide a presentation and answer questions from the commission. The public hearing will then be opened. The applicant will be given the opportunity to speak, limited to 15 minutes. Members of the public will be given the opportunity to comment, limited to 3 minutes. The applicant will be given the opportunity to respond to comments made by the public, limited to 5 minutes. The public hearing will be closed. Discussion will return to the commission with formal action taken to approve, deny, or continue review of the application. Please consider the following suggestions when organizing your comments. Please state your name and address. Strictly voluntary. State whether you support, oppose, or are neutral to the proposal. Your statement should include all pertinent facts within your knowledge. Please note the formal action by the Historic Resources Commission shall become effective after the 10-day appeal period unless the City Council holds a public hearing on the matter. Then the formal action will become effective on the day following the hearing and decision by the City Council. An appeal from the decision or requirement of the commission must be filed with the clerk of the council and a copy sent to the planning department within 10 days of the date of the commission's action. The appeal may be made by any interested party, individual, or group. This is the time and place for the public hearing on item number 1, Historic Resources Commission application number 2023-02. Historic Register categorization number 2023-01 and Historic Property Preservation Agreement number 2023-01 located at 2311 North Benton Way, historically known as the Turk's House, located in the single-family residential R1 zoning district. Before we begin, do we have any commissioners have anything they wish to disclose with regard to this item? Please state your name before commenting. Commissioner Hargy? Commissioner Hardy? Commissioner Christie?
I need a flag.
Well, there's all kinds of reflection here with these deals, so.
Commissioner Alberta Christie, I met with the Newquist and viewed the property in between rain showers, okay, on that. And spoke with them.
Anyone else? Commissioner Hargy? All right, Commissioner McLaughlin?
Yeah, just John, I'm going to say I'm close to the 500-foot requirement radius, or is it 1,000 at this point in time?
If you're not certain, Commissioner McLaughlin, I would advise you to recuse yourself. If it's within 500 feet, then you would most definitely have to. But if it's not certain, then, out of an abundance of caution, I would advise you to recuse yourself.
Okay. Or I can go ahead too. Is that not true?
If you feel comfortable with the facts, I'm not aware of the exact distance that the home is from yours, if that's what you're proposing.
I didn't catch the last part. Sorry.
I said I'm not aware of the exact distance between the two properties.
Yeah, I'm not sure of it.
I guess.
I'm not within 500 feet. I'm close. I'll leave. I'm close to that, but not within.
Okay.
All right. That's easy.
As they say, close only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear bombs. So you're okay. Mark. Okay, Andrea Dumovich Haywood will now provide a brief presentation.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. It's great to be here. Tonight's agenda includes only one historic register listing at the key category. I will provide an overview of the category requirements as a refresher before we discuss the agenda item. For the key category, this includes building, structure, object, or a site that has distinctive architectural style and quality, is characteristic of a significant period in the history of the city, and or is associated with a significant person or event in the city. Item number 1 is the Turk House. This item is a request to place the property addressed at 2311 North Benton Way on the Santa Ana Register and to execute a Mills Act agreement with the property owner. The Turk House is a mid-century modern style house constructed in 1960. The architect is unknown and the builder is known as Roy Russell based on the original building permit. The house qualifies for listing in the Santa Ana Register of Historical Properties under Criterion 1 as a highly intact example of mid-century modern style home in Santa Ana. The recommended categorization is key because it has distinctive architectural style and quality reflective of the mid-century modern style. Character defining features of the house include, but may not be limited to, the following: low-pitched cross gable roof with broad overhanging eaves, extended beams below the gable, exposed rafters, continuous fascia that wraps around the building's roof line, stucco, whitewashed brick and concrete materials, block exteriors including a privacy wall incorporating a brise-soleil and wrought iron gate at the primary facade, main entrance made of wrought iron and obscured glass designed in a geometric pattern that echoes the entrance gate, 2 obscured glass trapezoidal transoms below the front gable roof, narrow wood frame tripartite windows with the central fixed window flanked by casements, aluminum frame fixed casement, sliding and jalousie glass louver windows, obscured glass windows, aluminum frame sliding door with fixed window, attached garage, central brick chimney, whitewashed brick planter, a swimming pool in the rear yard, concrete block and brise-soleil pool equipment screen in the rear yard, and lastly, tropical landscaping. Then I'm also provided additional photos to go along with the descriptions I just went over. On the far left photo, you can see detailed shot of the brise-soleil privacy wall. The middle photo is a zoomed out shot of the brise-soleil wall with the wrought iron gate at the primary facade. And then the far right photo shows the extended beam below gable at the roof line and the aluminum frame windows just below it. Staff recommends that the commission adopt a resolution to approve HRCA number 2023-2 and HRC 2023-1 and recommend that the city council authorize HPPA number 2023-1. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Does the commission have any questions or comments of staff? Vice Chair Marashi?
If you go back 2 pages, please. Is the picture on the right viewable from the public right of way?
Did you say, is it visible?
Yes.
No, I don't think you could see that from the public.
Okay. Second of all, do we know absolutely who built this house?
We don't know the architect, but I mentioned Roy Russell, the developer.
We don't know if it's senior or junior that
Oh.
actually built it.
No,
Do we know actually who lived in the house in the first place?
I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have a question of staff? Andrea, tell me what your term is. I didn't hear it for this brick, this pierced brick that shows in the left. What do you call that?
I called it the brise-soleil.
Brise-soleil?
It's 2 words, brise-soleil.
That's a term for the pierced
Yeah,
brick.
it's common for mid-century modern design.
Well, given when this house was built, it's probably not likely it was Roy Russell Senior that built it. More likely it was Roy Russell Junior.
Yeah, and now it's coming back to me. I do believe talking with the consultant as well, like we believe it could be the junior based on the timeline.
I met Roy Russell Jr. in 1987. And he was quite a senior citizen, as politely as I could put it, in 1987. His father, and even in 1960, would have been beyond ancient. So, one concern that I have is with regard to, and if you go back a couple of pictures, I have a concern about the landscaping, which is beautiful in some respects, but it is, I mean, it's swallowed up the entire front of the house. And you wouldn't know if that was you wouldn't hardly know what was behind it. It is that thick and consuming. So I don't know. Have you addressed that with the applicant?
Yes, I did mention this to the applicant before I went out there. I had a phone call and on site, I told the applicant that this could be an issue, and they are amenable to trimming down the palms so that we can see that window below the gable. But we also listed the vegetation as a character defining feature. So I'm not sure if we want to actually lose all of that, but.
Well, I'm not suggesting you have to remove it, but part of me wonders, and I'm not a landscape architect per se, but I think most of us would agree that it may be out of scale to the house. That, I mean, as it continues to grow, it's gonna make the house look really squatty. So just my thoughts. Any other comments from commissioners? Okay. I'm sorry. Yes, Alberta Christie, Commissioner Christie.
I'm gonna need compounds.
That's fine. That's good with me.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. One of the things is view corridor. And I did notice that when I spoke to you guys, I think the applicants can address this, that they are going to be doing landscaping for that. Because the fact that view corridor, you have to see the property from the street and sides and everything. And normally I would talk about this, but I let someone else because that's one of my bugaboos. But I did understand that you guys were going to do the landscaping since you're saving over $900 a year in taxes to put that in. So if you want to address this in your comments to us, we greatly appreciate that. Okay.
Any other comments from commissioners? Commissioner Hardy?
Yes, I have a comment, Chair Rush. I don't know what variety of palm seeds are. They might get a lot taller, and then when trimmed, the actual trunk will allow the view corridor to open up. I don't know if these are young or so that's something to look at, the variety, and if they are the type that grow tall, and just trimming it back so you can see the trunk, trimming the fronds. That might work right there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other commissioner comments? Commissioner comments online? Okay. The public hearing is now open. Does the commission have any comments or questions of the applicant? If the applicant would, if they're here, if they would come forward to the microphone, please be sure to speak into the microphone.
Hello, I'm Crystal Newquist.
And Brian Newquist. So thank you everybody for seeing us today. Thank you for raising the issue of the landscaping. I can't wait to trim that all the way down. And there's a great window just under the buttress behind those palm trees that I would love to be visible by the public right away of the street. So that'll be the first thing that's done to this home after this hopefully goes forward. So I couldn't agree more. B, I guess just to make a couple quick comments, you know, we've been homeowners here since 2016. We were drawn to the neighborhood because of the eclectic and wide spanning architecture of the neighborhood. We've known about the Mills Act. I guess I just always thought our house was too new, being built in 1961 in comparison to a lot of other homes in the area. We came from a 1929 Craftsman cottage. And so we are huge fans of not only what I guess would say unique architecture, but the preservation of unique architecture. We haven't touched the house. We feel like once we moved in, not a lot had been done over the years, and we liked it that way. And so after a few years in the home, some of the neighbors having gone through the Mills Act process said we should probably take a look, and we think it very much aligns with our principles and what we hope to do and what not to do with the home moving forward.
Andrea, may I ask a question?
Yes.
As a part of our approval, can we add verbiage that says that the applicant will agree, as long as the Mills contract is on the property, that the vegetation will be trimmed so that the architecture of the home is protected to be viewed?
We can certainly add a condition that discusses the maintenance of landscape so that it preserve the view of the house to the public view. So absolutely, we can word it in that sense,
Okay,
in that fashion.
all right. Madam Secretary, have we received any written communication on this issue, this matter?
We have not received written communication.
Okay, all right. Did you folks have anything else you want to add?
I don't believe so, Chairman, unless you guys have any other comments or questions for us.
Or other
I mean, we did compile a list of improvements that we would like to make over the next couple of years, and we've outlined that. I don't know if it would please you for us to go through that, or how that usually works, but we do have a list of kind of what we envision doing to the property.
Well, why don't you give us the highlights of that? And I'm assuming you've given this list to staff.
Was noted on my original application to Andrea, and then I kind of extracted it and put it in an outline here. The first of which is landscaping to reveal the front gable visibility from the public right of way. The next being replacing the flooring throughout the home to be historically correct, and then stucco maintenance and repairs around the perimeter of the property are needed as well. Going forward, we hope to do some window maintenance, pane replacement, all period correct, some remodeling of the bathroom, and a much needed remodel of the kitchen in a couple of years from now. Other than that, painting throughout, and then in a few years, we'll probably have to look at plumbing and electrical, but not at this moment.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Christie?
okay, if you look on page 4 of the write-up and so forth, go down, and it has on there overall future improvements proposed by the homeowner during the initial 10 years of the Mills Act agreement includes landscaping maintenance, so the front gable is fully visible from the public right of way, exterior painting, exterior stucco repair, new plumbing, electrical, pool replastering, window pane rehabilitation, replacement, improved landscape in the front and rear yards, and general ongoing maintenance. Staff will ensure that the proposed work will be done sensitively. How do you pronounce? Sensitive. Okay, and will maintain the property's characters, defining features as part of the Mills Act agreement. So it's already in your write-up on page 4, down at the center.
All right. Okay, so we have no speakers, we have no correspondence. Are all the commissioners satisfied? Any questions further of the applicant? Any comments from the Zooming commissioners?
I guess
No? Commissioner Christie?
I just want to say thank you so much, and so forth. And, like you said, we do have an eclectic view of homes, and we welcome you. I don't know where were you before?
We're in Costa Mesa, east side Costa
We
Mesa.
love taking people from Costa Mesa and airlines and all
Well,
that.
we like coming.
And anyway, but thank you so much. And it's a beautiful home and so forth.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, folks, you can sit down. Thank
Thank you,
you
Chairman.
very much. All right, the public hearing is now closed. And is there a motion to approve this matter and a second? Commissioner Christie? And Commissioner Hargy will second. Commissioner Christie?
Hold on, we gotta read it first.
I know you do.
I move that we adopt the resolution approving Historic Resource Commission application number 2023-2 and Historic Register categorization 2023-1. And number 2, recommend the City Council authorize the city manager and clerk of the council to execute the attached Mills Act agreement with Brian and Crystal L. Newquist, subject to non-substantive changes approved by the city manager and city attorney.
Okay, and a second, Commissioner Hargy? All right. Did you have any other comment?
Loving our architecture and training the children to learn to appreciate a beautiful home and something.
Okay, Madam Secretary, did you want to do a roll call vote?
Commissioner Jauregui,
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter,
Approve.
Commissioner Christie,
Yes.
Commissioner Cornelius,
Approve.
Commissioner Hardy,
Yes.
Commissioner McLaughlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Ship,
Approved.
Vice Chair Marashi,
No.
Chair Rush,
Approved.
motion approved by majority vote with Commissioner Marashi. Yeah. Voting no.
Okay, okay, this concludes the business calendar. Moving on to staff comments. Are there any staff member comments?
Yes, Commissioner. I'd like to share with you some information about a historic event that we had in the past couple of weeks on February 16th of 2023. All the information on here, I'm sure the commissioner are very well aware of the name that is appearing before you, Miss Helen M. Ship. The city has a street sign topper program that is used to provide for celebration of event, person, or identifying names and places of historic value in our city beside our street name. And it's a ceremonial street name. While it doesn't change the street, but it does provide for a designation of a certain intersection and segment of the street to be known as. So on February 16th, for the first time in our city history, we place 2 street toppers name at the intersection of Willett and Rate Street to celebrate Miss Helen M. Ship for the significance of her contribution to our local history, as well as the first founder of the Black History Parade. The area was provided with 2 street toppers at the intersections on the southwest corner and on the northeast corner and on the southeast corner of the street where the street toppers were provided. As you can see on the picture, the first topper shows Miss Helen M. Ship's name, as also the areas being identified as Black History Square. In the picture you see up there, you can see that one of our commissioner, Mr. Dwayne Ship, is part of the picture with our mayor and city council as well as Supervisor Sarmiento celebrating this historical moment. So I just want to share that with the commission that this took place on February 16th this past year. So I want to, at this point, maybe give some time for Commissioner Shipp. If you want to say anything or provide any additional information to the commission?
Yes, so February 16th was a very amazing day. We had a chance to honor my mother, but not just my mother, a woman of the community. As Commissioner Christie knows, they were such great friends. So the community came out, our mayor came out, our supervisor came out, people from New Korea office came out, Senator Tom Umberg, a lot of people came out, a lot of community came out to celebrate. So it was a historical day, and just moving forward, we appreciate all the work that went into it, that we put into it with the city, and Santa Ana is our home. And one of the other things we spoke on in the meeting, in the ceremony, was bringing the Black History Parade back to Santa Ana. So that's something that me and the mayor and Councilman Hernandez is working on now, trying to get it back in the next year or so. Santa Ana is our home forever. So we just appreciate the city.
Thank you, Commissioner Shipp, and I just want to congratulate you. I was there at the event and you and your brother spoke beautifully. So thank you. Appreciate your comments. That concludes staff's comments for tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Christie.
Okay, Dwayne, congratulations on that. But also, I'm a little upset. None of us here on the Historic Commission knew about this event. And you may not know, but it took us over 7 years working so that an event like this could happen in Santa Ana. It took us over 7 years to work with the city, identifying historical areas in our city to be included as part of our general plan. And all of that. That was a lot of work. So that event, we're honoring Helen Shipp would come on. And for none of us on the Historical Commission knew about this event or was even invited to attend the event, I take that as an insult. I really take that as an insult, because if it wasn't for us, hey, things would have been the same, of no identification whatsoever, or in doing this. I learned when I was on the city council, when I made a decision on a project, it took anywhere from 5 to 10 years before it even got initiated or even started. So for this commission, working for 7 years, to identify, especially that area in Santa Ana where the Black community started and had its beginnings and businesses, I really take offense to this. And I'm very upset about this, and hope that in the future, on the programs that we here at the Historical Commission worked on to identifying this part of history in this community and city of Santa Ana, that we will never be ignored again. Thank you.
Are there any
Chair, Commissioner Cornelius is raising his hand. Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Cornelius?
Yeah, so just want to comment that I knew about the event. I saw it posted. So there was information out there for commissioners to look for. So it was advertised. So I knew about the event. So that's all I got to say.
Any other commissioners? I guess at this point we'll move on to commissioner comments. Commissioner McLaughlin, we'll start with you.
No comment.
Commissioner Marashi?
No comment.
Commissioner Hardy?
So this is actually the commissioner comment section. We're not
Yes.
commenting anything particular. Okay, I'd like to congratulate our new Mills Act recipient and Santa Ana Register of Historic Properties listing. And I'm looking forward to moving ahead with some of our historic agenda items. And particularly I'm kind of worried about as our historic structures age that haven't been listed, that haven't been received any recognition. What are we going to do about that? You know, what kind of outreach are we going to do? How are we going to pull property owners in and let them know that maybe they want to not do exterior changes? We need to develop a program, and perhaps that's up and coming. Thank you.
Commissioner Christie, are you?
I just want to welcome our new commissioner. Irma, welcome on this, and congratulations to the Newquist on having your hand.
Okay, so I'm last and, I'm not last. I did this last time. I don't want to do it again. You gentlemen who are zooming to our meeting, is there Commissioner Carpenter or anyone else? Do you have a comment?
Yeah, this is Commissioner Carpenter. Just would like to congratulate Mr. Ship and the owners of that home. Very nice home, and I'm glad to see it's on the registry. Thank you.
Commissioner Ship, do you have any comments?
The same as him, I would like to congratulate the owners of the home. It is a very nice property.
And Commissioner Cornelius? Commissioner Cornelius, do you have any comments?
No comments.
Okay. All right, so I'm last. I too would of course like to congratulate the homeowners. I knew Roy Russell Jr., didn't know his dad, but he was a very nice fellow, and his family has an unbelievable legacy of building hundreds, if not thousands of homes in Santa Ana. It's kind of interesting. I lived in a 1939 Roy Russell house that was built by his dad. To that home, which was a minimalist traditional style home in Washington Square. I don't live there now. I live in Wilshire Square, but very, very different from the home that you folks live in that was built in 1961. So kind of interesting to see how his building designs changed, obviously, with the times. So congratulations. I do think it's important for us to take note that I believe since we last met, finally the formal anointment happened for Historic Floral Park Neighborhood Association. So congratulations, Mark. And I think out there in the audience is our friend Dylan Almondral, who I know weren't you slightly involved? I think I'm giving him a bad time. He was very involved. Anyway, in the entire neighborhood association and all the folks that worked so hard and city staff to make that historic neighborhood happen. And of course, hopefully that will be one of many historically sensitive neighborhoods that we begin to locally designate here in our city. As staff knows, we have been pushing for adoption of local historic districts like Henninger Park, but in Washington Square, Wilshire Square, Saddleback View, West Floral Park, Park Santiago, all of those, and I'm sure there's more, all those neighborhoods are deserving of that. So I know that staff is working on a plan to make that happen. I don't want to end on a sour note, but as I was listening to the presentation about the recognition for Helen Ship, I kept thinking, God, did I miss something? I don't recall being notified about that. And so I would share Commissioner Christie's comment that why the Historical Commission was not specifically invited is astonishing to me. We should have been. I would have been there. So Commissioner Ship, to you particularly, I want to tell you that I didn't know anything about it. That's why I wasn't there. So, and the rest of us, some of us undoubtedly would have come had we known about it, but posting it on Facebook is not the same as getting an email telling you to be there and inviting us. So I'm sure that was an oversight, but I would hope that doesn't happen again. Anyway, that's unfortunate, but I know how important that was to not just the Ship family, but all of the Black community and of course, Santa Ana at large. So anyway, share that. And perhaps offline, someone can give me an update on, you may recall about a year ago, we had a project brought before us on the building that is on the southeast corner of 4th and French. That's the old Mega Furniture building and was going to be supposedly bought by a church and was going to be turned into a coffee shop and a conference center and blah, 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 all of these things and nothing. I mean, I haven't seen one iota of change there since that was brought forward. Did they abandon the project? Did it resell? What happened? So anyway, with that, I guess, let's see, beg your pardon. No. I will call us an adjournment until our next regular meeting, which is Thursday, May the 4th at 4:30 p.m. here in the council chambers. So thank you all for coming.